Hi, Tom. Hope you're doing well. As promised, I am recording a couple of the neck stretches that I taught you. And this is from Neurovascular Release from one of my teachers, Kira Schumacher. So I want to honor her in how she's taught me the different stretches. But most importantly, right now, I just want you to get into a comfortable seat and come on to your sits bones and make sure that you're sitting up, right? Finding some length in the spine. And then, as a reminder, you're going to stretch very softly. And so take the fabric of your shirt, maybe 1 to 2 inches apart, and slacken it. And then start to pull. As soon as you feel the fabric stretch between your hands, that's as much as that we're going to use for these stretches. Great. So let's do some pre-test. So we're just going to start with the simple roll down. So I'm going to sit to the side so you can see the roll down. And we're just really getting a sense of back of the neck, upper spine. How does everything feel? And then bring that back up. One vertebra at a time, restacking, bringing the head up last. And then we're going to pre-test side to side. So turn your head to the right and turn to the left. Oh, and I forgot the first one. We're just going to do a yes movement. So lift up with the chin and look down. Good. Okay, back to side. And just notice where you feel more restriction. So for me, when I turn to the right, I feel more restriction in the back of the shoulder here at the base of the neck. And we're going to come into the first stretch. So we're going to use our hands like paperweights or anchors really softly on the breastbone. So bring your hands onto the breastbone. Then we're going to lift up with the chin. Take a breath in. Exhale on out. And then come back to neutral. Release your hands and just take a little up and down post-test. Notice if you feel any difference. So that's interesting. It's hard for me to distinguish the difference, but it's almost like in the back of the head, it's a little smoother for me. And now turn right and left. Well, that's interesting. It's easier for me to turn to the right now, and even easier to turn to the left. So we'll do the next stretch. Put your hands back onto the breastbone, just softly. Then we're going to turn to the right. And then the ear that's facing the camera is going to start to float up. You can imagine there's a helium balloon tied to your left ear, and it's just allowing it to rise up a little. Now take a breath in. Exhale on out. Float your ear back up. Top of the head's up towards the sky. Turn the head back to neutral. Release the hands. Now we're going to post-test. Turn to the right and then turn to the left. And notice if your sensation in your neck has changed. So again, it's easier and I have less tension in the back here already. Now we're going to turn to the left. Same thing. Oh, hands here on the sternum. Turn to the left. Float the ear towards the camera, your right ear up, imagining a helium balloon tied to the ears. Take a breath in. Breathe on out. Then float the head back up. Turn the head slowly towards the front. Release the hands. Good. And then test again, right and left. Yeah, way easier for me to turn to the left this time. So notice the difference for you. Great. Now we're going to do the third variation. So we've done yes, side to side with the front ear. Now we're going to do the back ear that's away from the camera. So hands again on the sternum. Turn to the right, and this time tip your head forward so that the right ear is the one floating up with the helium balloon. Now take a breath in. Exhale on out. Bring that back up. Slowly float back to center. And then post-test, turn to the right. Notice any difference, and to the left. Yeah. Each time it's easier for me and less kinds of tensionful sensations, pain in my body. Hands back on the sternum. Third variation to the left. Tip your head forward. Left ear's coming up and floating. Breathe in. Exhale on out. Then float the head back up. Turn to a center. Release the hands, and we'll post-test again. Yeah. So for me, things are feeling pretty good. Yeah. I almost feel like we need to add the eyeballs. Bring your hands back on the sternum. And I just want you to look all the way to the right just with your eyeballs. Take a breath in. Exhale on out. Release the hands down and then post-test. Yep, that's what got me. I needed to really lead with my eyes. Again, hands on the chest. Let's turn to, head in neutral. Look all the way to the left with your eyeballs as far as you can see. Breathe in. Breathe on out. Come back to a center and release that. And then let's post-test, turning head right and left, and even do a little up and down. This is a good time for us to do a little integration. So just tuck through your chin. We're post-testing and integrating what's happening through the spine, so it's easier for me to roll a little bit further down, and then easier for me to come back up too. Great. So this is a good place to stop, or if you want to add one more, I'm going to go to the collarbone. So you're going to find the top of the sternum, right here where the collarbone comes in, to meet the manubrium, which is the top of the sternum. And you're just going to go gently above and below. So whichever hands you can fit there. And I'm going to kind of try to move my hands out of the way. And so here's where the bottom of my collarbone is. This is the top of my collarbone, but I'm not pressing deep here. I'm just going to soften the skin from the top down into the collarbone and the skin into the collarbone here. Then we're going to turn the head and tuck to where our fingers are. And start to breathe in and out. You can imagine these are the roots of a flower, and they're beginning to be watered. And the neck is a stem growing, and your head is a giant sunflower that's going to start to rise up real slow. Keep breathing in and out. And release that. And then we're going to go one more time, opposite side. Above and below the collarbone where it meets the breastbone, the manubrium. Skin sensation only. Squeeze it in towards the collarbone. Turn the head to the left, tuck through. Start breathing in and out through the nose. And we're just imagining watering the roots of a plant. The neck becomes a stem and slowly rises back up. Good. And release that. Now tuck through your chin. Roll forward. And bring that back up. Turn to the right, to the left. You can play with your yeses and nos. See what feels different, has more fluidity, and feels better. And you can do these a few times a day if you need to, but be careful not to overdo it because we are working with the arterial flow and some of the neural patterning in the neck. Have a good day, Tom. Thanks for coming out. Have a good day, Tom. Thanks for coming out.